really, really, really like everyone out there to join me in welcoming to the show James Cooper and Tropicana from CredUp LLC and CredUp.org. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for coming in. All right, so Mr. Cooper, that's so funny. So you come up on the Facebook feeds under the penny hoarder?
Yes, is everywhere. Every time I turn on Facebook, it's coming through the feed, and it's funny because it's thousands of views as well as shares. So all of these people are not following me. I have 5,000 followers, but these people is from all over the world leaving comments, good, bad, undecided.
How do you do that? Oh yeah, no, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's start at the beginning. Let's tell the listening audience what happened and what inspired you to start CredUp LLC, then CredUp.org, which is beautiful. But how did this happen?
First of all, I'm a manager in the music business. To the left of me, Tropicana is my son. So we moved out here from New Jersey in 2012. He has a great music career. In 2016, he was able to chart on Billboard for 32 consecutive weeks without radio airplay, without a major budget, all through social media.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so when we got to that certain point, record labels was coming at us, but the deal just was lopsided. So me and my partner from New Jersey, Don Anthony, it's three of us, and Don said, we got to do something. We got to get our own money together. How can we get our own money together? So he said, let's work on our credit. Let's see how we can boost our credit, because in reality, a record label will give him a loan anyway. The difference is they're going to eat off of everything that he do. Right. So our whole idea was to create enough credit to go into a bank and go to a credit union and get $150,000, $200,000, and then use the labels for marketing and distribution as well as radio. So we tried that, and we figured out the FICO score. It is a method, madness and everything, and we figured it out. And we took my partner Don Anthony first. He had a low 600 credit score. In 2 months, his credit score boosted up to like a 700 something. I said, whoa,
you took him and did what? Let's be clear to the listening audience. You guys were looking at your credit.
Right.
Credit is the foundation of this entire system.
It
really doesn't even matter, because now with technology, you fill out that application, people aren't seeing you anymore, but they do see your credit. And there's ways, I'm sure, that they can tell you whether or not you're black, you're white, or whatever. I'm sure of that. But look, you got a high credit score. These people, my money is green. I'm ready to lend it to you.
Talk.
So what happened with your partner?
So what he had to do was wipe off negative items off of his credit. Mm-hmm. So him and the buddy of his, Charles, they actually wiped it all off and took the utilization down. He had a high utilization, which is your monthly balance, and they took it down, and his credit jumped up within 60 days.
And that happened to me.
In the midst of the story, we got burnt for money. We was paying credit repair companies.
That's the thing.
And we got burnt. I mean, we started with him. We didn't have no money. So he came up with the $3,000, $3,500.
What?
Oh yeah, we got burnt.
$3,000?
Yeah, he borrowed it from friends, family, and got burnt, and he got discouraged. I said, we got to keep going. It's good people out there that's going to help us. And he was discouraged, and he believed in me and took another chance. And he said, this time around, it's your turn. So we scraped up more money. And this time around, we wiped off my negative, but it took my credit all the way down because I never used my credit. So I had to start from scratch. It took me from a 524 to a 740, and I lost my mind. I said, what the world? And then from a 740 to an 801. And when it took me to an 801, I said, wow, it's a science to this. This wasn't luck. This wasn't by chance.
You better believe that.
So we started researching, getting more and more homework, and put together, putting in 8-10 hours a day on learning this credit game. And we said, we got it now. We got it.
You discovered this. There was an epiphany, and you got it. And then,
Right.
so what did you say? I'm going to take this and do what?
Go to Disney.
I like that.
No, we were so happy, but it was one of them things where it was almost too good to be true, and it was just man, why didn't I think of this moment? You know, we was mainly brainstorming and said, there's a million people out there, and there's a million people that got great ideals. Why didn't they think of this? And somebody told me, why don't you make this a literacy program in the schools? And I said, why? That's a blanket coverage of credit. When I talk to schools, do workshops inside the schools, they know about 2% of credit. Now they might know marketing, finance, things of that nature, but when it comes to credit, I found the students only know about 2% of credit. Now, this is the
Go ahead.
This is the crazy thing about it. Going into a low income inner city school and then going into a high income $1 million house community school. The difference was they both only knew 2% about credit. However, when I asked the inner city kids what do they want to do, they was naming the basketball life,
that's right.
NFL, the rapper's life.
That's what they're geared towards.
Exactly.
In the media.
Exactly. We went to another school in Cobb County I would not name, but when we went to that school, they were saying, I want to own an NBA team. I want to own a fleet of car dealerships. I want to own an airport. The only way you can have that inside of you and feel so strong about it, you have to be surrounded by them type of people.
It has to be put in you. That's
exactly.
Right.
So a father, an uncle, or a grandfather, somebody owned one of them, was a strong part in one of them industries that they actually named.
And then took the time.
And then took the time. And then
what is your program, and does it cost money?
Well, the program, what we're looking to do is put the free costs on to the actual students from high school, 9th grade, all the way throughout college, through their federal programs. So we're looking for the federal programs to pay for the actual program to go into the school, and we're also looking for local businesses, investors, to donate to the nonprofit part of it, so we can put these books into the schools that can't afford it.
We're back, everyone. News and Talk 1380 WAOK, Real Estate 101. I'm Mary Gill. Joining me today, Mr. James Cooper in Tropicana. They're with CredUp LLC, and it's a father and son. Tropicana's on his way to kicking butt in the music industry, and you actually went through the program yourself, and you're right, because really, we're really about that, get a dollar, spend a dollar. Get a dollar, spend a dollar. So you said it was about that street credit. So what happened with you?
So in my case, after my father went through with, his awakening with credit and his new life, his rebirth through credit, he actually was able to pass that down to me through me becoming an authorized user on his account.
There you go. So
he was approved for a major credit card. He made me an authorized user. I didn't have credit at the time. So mine just said NA. In about a month's time, I went from a NA to a 707.
Now, and here's where you get in trouble. You have to be a good steward of your dad's credit in order for you both to be successful in it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And sometimes we get the kids that aren't, that go and jack it up, or, we try to help somebody and then we end up getting messed up ourselves. But fortunately, you didn't go that route.
Well, guess what? He couldn't, because I froze him from using it. So he couldn't use the card.
Well, that's one way.
Yeah. So,
but hey, so you got a good credit score out of it anyway, right?
Right. So after that happened, we did some other workings within the credit, and I was finally able to get approved for my own credit card maybe a month and a half later.
Sure you were, because when they saw that on your credit, you had that availability that you were not using. Now other credit card companies step up. Oh, well, I wanted to use my line of credit.
Yeah, and so then there began my journey on my credit journey, because now I'm building off of my own name.
That's great.
So it took somebody that been through it to come back and pull me up. And, as a people, I think that's really the most important thing.
And you're going to do that?
Because I feel as though I was in a position of a lot of these students, especially like when we go to certain areas and like we speak in detention centers and things like that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, these people have a way out of their situation. They have a way to build their life, regardless if somebody reached back to pull them up or not. They are now in a position, as they're turning 18, to start to build their life in a positive direction. And I felt the responsibility to do that. I didn't want to come into the music industry as somebody that, you know, a lot of artists will just tell you one thing, one aspect of life. They may tell you to do this, do that, I sold this, I sold that. But, I mean, how many times can we talk about selling the same narcotics to our people before we start to sell them some knowledge?
You're exactly right.